welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. This is going to be a little different because now I'm going to interview somebody who's in the same industry and could probably out-talk me. With me is Tony Solomon, Fullhouse Entertainment, and you're the CEO.
That's correct.
Okay, what is Fullhouse Entertainment?
Fullhouse Entertainment is an enterprise that consists of three prongs of music, mostly. One of the prongs that we have is our main thrust, which is providing entertainment to the public market. Corporate as well, but they're kind of one and the same. So we have 35 DJs, 26 live bands, and the offshoot enhancements. So that means that you can not only get your DJ, which is a performance DJs. I don't really compete with DJs as much,
Right?
Because I'm a music teacher as well, which is another one of a segue into my second prong. But the DJs that we have, a good 40% of them actually can sing at your wedding. They can actually play guitar, play piano, all these things that a lot of people don't realize are available because they're largely not. Our company handles that.
How long have you been doing this?
27 years, but 32 years DJing.
Okay, so do you know Harry Gilbert?
Of course I do. Harry and I work together. He's over in New Zealand now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And I'm happy for him.
He did, because I had so many weddings. He did my wedding, my second wedding.
Beautiful.
And you probably don't understand how important it is to have a performing DJ.
100%.
Okay? He had everybody up.
Dancers, everything. He has it all.
He was just amazing. And I still talk to him.
For sure.
Okay? And he's been on with me before he left for New Zealand. Just a great guy. But the professionalism from a DJ to a performing DJ is very, very different.
It's very different. And that's what I try to express to people. When in social media, you'll see any person say, hey, do you know of a good DJ? And to me, that falls almost flat for me, because they're thinking about the button pusher that mixes a beat from another beat and then says, come on in, Mr. and Mrs., whatever it is.
Right.
That pales, as you just expressed, to the difference between a person that's going to dedicate the first dance by singing it or by playing the cocktail hour on piano.
And they also come out with assistants and
For sure. Tech
it's actually a show.
Yeah, for sure.
More than
for sure.
Okay, so that's one prong of what you do.
Yes.
What's the second prong, Mr. Music Teacher?
Yes, the second one is that I have a boutique music academy called Fullhouse Sound and Stage Studios. And the difference between us and the piano teacher or even the music school locally is that we teach modern methods using modern equipment. So if a student, be it a person from the age of 3 to 89, I don't deal with 2-year-olds and I don't deal with 90-year-olds.
Oh,
I have a problem with them. Yeah, I just
I got a little time, not much. I'm gonna figure it out.
For sure, yeah, for sure. And the thing is that we do things that are a little bit zag from most people zig. We teach your traditional sight reading and that kind of thing, but at a minimum, because I find that it's easier to get music the way that music is. It's easier to give music the way that you get music. And with a piece of sheet music, it took a while for me to say it because I use it so little, but you're relegated to playing what's on paper. And
right.
Whereas nowadays, that was great when I was a kid and when I took lessons, as a youngster. That's great, and it's still great now. But you have to put it in perspective, because now we have things that weren't around in the 70s when I started, like YouTube, where songs come out every minute. There's so much content, and I like to teach my students the music they want to learn, not the red book from whoever, Thompson or whoever it is. I like to teach them beyond that. I like to teach them where they can do what I do and have my Jedi mind power, where I can take a song that I hear and play it almost identical to what I heard. And then if I want to, I can embellish it and put my little Wayne DNA in there,
And I get that, because
For sure.
You came in here a couple minutes ago. I knew this much about what you do, and I didn't script anything.
I love that.
Okay? No sheet music here. We're just talking
Exactly.
away.
Yeah.
So that's one part of what I so agree on what you do. The other part is you're right, because back then, now if you have an organ, it's got 8 million things that it does, not just one thing.
Right.
Okay, and you're right. What you do is you open someone's mind to more than just what's on that sheet of
For
music.
sure.
And that's how music is made and should be made.
For sure. And the thing is that even after college, my self research showed me that a good 60% of whoever we call a popular artist, they read no more than chord charts. Your Adam Levine's and your people that were popular or are popular now, they know music, but they don't need
Scripted.
yeah, they don't need it to be scripted. And the thing is that I think that people that play music should also be creators of music. You're using the same tools as the guy that wrote that song that you want to learn how to play, whether it be a 6-year-old girl that wants to do Let It Go from Disney's Frozen or whatever it is. The same beautiful sound that she heard and wants to duplicate, she can kind of write that with my assistance in the way that my methodology. I teach chromatics, and that means that I'm a strong student of Bobby McFerrin, and people don't know him for anything other than
Be
"Don't
Happy.
Worry, Be Happy." But the guy is a doctor in music, and he can show you how a propeller head can know the pentagonic the ability to pick up the next note or make that note match with the next chord. So that way you have the freedom of a whole nother world of creativity as opposed to just being able to recreate what you saw on paper.
You know, it's so interesting because it so crosses over into what I do because we discuss really nothing, and my mind listens to what you say, and I'm already on the next note.
For sure.
Okay,
For sure.
and that opens up the ability to do whatever we want to do and have a good time doing it.
Exactly.
And not always knowing exactly where it's going to go, but
That's
knowing,
a good part. That's the fun
Right.
part. It's an adventure, isn't it?
Right, and I love that, and I've learned so. I mean, I've done over 70,000 of these, and
Beautiful.
I've learned them. I have a little bit of knowledge about everything. What instruments do you play?
So I'm glad you asked. So what we teach, I play my prime instruments would be keyboard slash synthesizer. Not really a piano guy. It's a difference. The beast is more organic. I'm into the electronic portion of it, but it translates. So I would say that is my number one instrument, and then I also play drums, percussion, and vocals. So what we teach, the thing is that I am a mirror to everything that I do. Anything I do vocationally is and commercially, I sell that knowledge to my students. Whether it be, this is what we do at Fullhouse Stage and Sound. We do keyboards, we do drums, we do guitar, we do vocals, we do DJ camp, which teaches you how to work a controller so you can learn how to DJ. And a lot of the DJs that I teach, I actually hire. Same thing with vocalists.
Right.
A lot of them work on our staff. And then on top of that, we teach composition, which is another segue into my third prong, composition and recording and production. So that way we can actually make it so that you can learn how to not only play that piece, write that piece, which is the composition portion, but actually record that and make it so that it's ready for Spotify or Apple TV.
I'm so upset that my parents didn't push me to the keyboard. It was something that I look back and say, man, I think out of every instrument, probably one of the best instruments to know, at least as a starting point.
I agree.
Now, today, being older than dirt like I am, I like the sound of steel drums.
Okay.
I love the sound of steel
For
drums.
sure, me too.
But again,
Relaxes
I'm a Parrot head, so I'm a big Buffett fan. I
That
love
works too.
island music and
Yes,
stuff.
for sure.
So you hear it all the time.
Trop rock.
Trop rock. So, you know, for me, I like almost all kinds of music.
Understood.
And I've been around the entertainment industry again for 35 years now, and I've learned things that I got to use. Like I learned about performing DJs and not just a DJ that's going to stand there and do this and scratch records.
For sure.
Okay, and I hung out with some cool people. I was in Live in Miami with LMFAO,
Sure.
so I was on stage with them.
Understood.
And
Very cool.
I actually have a video of him coming like right into my camera, sticking
Red
his face.
Foo?
Yeah, sticking his face right in my camera.
They're good photobombing you, yeah.
So it's a great industry to be in, not an easy industry to be in. People think it's
all fun and games.
Yeah, it's
until
not.
you chip the chrome.
Okay, right. Okay, it's a tough industry, and I don't want to use the word, but it's an industry that has a lot of downfall, and you have to be so careful when you're in this industry. But it's an industry that becomes so enjoyable when you learn to avoid the pitfalls.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
So, what's the third piece?
The third piece is actually the one that I'm most passionate about. In time, in my bucket list, I would almost sacrifice the other two prongs to be in the last one, and the last one is film scoring. In this area, because of the fact that
What
we
is
don't
it?
exactly, that's what I was going to say. In this area, because of the fact that we don't have access or exposure to much as far as the industry is concerned when it comes to film and the marriage of film and music, people think that when I say I'm a film scorer, that means I'm the one that does Rotten Apples, and says that was a 80% Rotten Tomato. I'm sorry, Rotten
right.
Tomato, which is a rotten apple to me. 'Cause it's not always right. But at any rate, though, people say, so you basically rank movies, right? That's what you do, right? You're a film scorer. You tell us what to watch. And I was like, no. Actually, what I do is I do really interesting music that fits the narrative of the vision of what you see. It's the bed underneath it. So if you think of John Williams,
So
which
it's
is
like
usually
dun, 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 dun.
okay in 1985. Yep, that's what it
All right,
was.
well, I'm old. It's okay. It's okay. I'm old. But basically, you bring life to
Exactly.
what's happening on the screen.
I coined myself, and it's probably not original, but it's what fits what I think I do. I'm a sonic storyteller, so I kind of help the producer and director get across the point of what they're trying to tell you is around the corner, or this moment of gravitas. I'm gonna punctuate that for you sonically, and it's not always just through music. It's not always violins and trumpets and horns and the typical instruments. Sometimes it's something like a bram where, it's a big thud, that I need, or a little ticky clock sound.
So,
it's sound design.
Do you think that you take the music end and the sound effect end and kind of blend them?
I blend them. That's exactly what I do. I have expensive software programs that have nothing musical to do with anything. And then on top of that, you have the thing that's called Foley. I don't do a lot of that, but I love doing Foley because
What is Foley?
Foley is if we're quiet right now,
Which would be impossible.
but we can do it for a picosecond.
Okay.
If we're quiet, we hear sounds around us right now. Like I heard you breathe. I heard the air conditioner. I heard him moving his chair. The producer moving
Stop
his chair.
moving your chair.
No, it's good. It's all good stuff. The thing is that it adds realism to whatever it is, or actually it adds above realism. Because a lot of times when you're watching a Western and that wind's blowing, there are no gale forces, but it sounds like that when the tumbleweed goes across. In reality, if you were to go to the Midwest or out west, the tumbleweed moves. It really doesn't make that much of a sound. But on the movies, we make it sound more pronounced than what it is, so that way it makes it carry over through film.
Which enhances the visuals.
Completely. And you think it's real.
Right.
Yeah.
It's interesting because when you go out to eat, you visualize the food.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you begin to taste it.
Sure.
You take the smell of the food.
Sure.
It's not just the food.
Exactly.
In video, because that's the industry I'm in, it's what happens behind the video
Or underneath it.
or underneath it.
Simultaneously.
Right. That kind of pulls you further in. Okay. And I guess the thing that everybody would kind of relate to is just think of any scary movie. Okay.
That's my favorite genre, by
if
the way.
they didn't have-
You're psychic.
Okay. If they didn't have that lead-in music
Sure.
to what's going to happen,
The impact would not be there.
right? The impact would not.
So
be there.
you and the director or producer are the 1-2 punch. You get
Yeah.
it across by what you both do together in tandem. You know, it makes it so that made that scene, and that's important to me. And what I do is I have to pay attention to the vision and detail of my producers, so that way I can get that across. I have right now a small shrine of movies. I've done about 18 international movies through the help of friends and producers that have taken pity upon me for being a late bloomer. But
That's okay.
they know that I'm not just dedicated to the craft, but I'm actually pretty good at it now. I couldn't say that maybe 4 years ago, but I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
I started this in my mid to late 30s.
I love this story
Okay.
already. I love this story.
I sold my car, drove an electric skateboard scooter, went $90,000 in credit card debt. This industry did not exist. Okay, everybody said, don't be stupid, get a real job, this is a pipe dream.
Heard it all.
Okay, I had the eviction notices. And just so you know, I could make a ton of money in real estate because that's where I made most
Sure.
of my money.
It's not about the money all the
But
time.
every time someone said it's not going to work, it's not going to work, I stuck it out. And there was no, like today, everybody with a cell phone is a videographer,
Sure.
a photographer,
Producer.
and a talk show host.
Sure, sure.
Okay, and there was no, just so you know, there was no Skype and Zoom. I was the pioneer for Skype and Zoom.
Beautiful.
Okay, and I love the industry, but I've seen some of the pitfalls and fell into some of those pitfalls.
Sure. That's how you learn.
We're getting to the top of our time. How do people find you? You have a website?
Well, they go to Fullhouse Entertainment Co., which is short for company, fullhouseentertainmentco.com, and that'll give you a smattering of what we're able to do. One of the things that I pride myself in is that our company zigs when everybody else is zagging. For example, we have an elephant, because people are like, why would a DJ company or entertainment have an elephant? And I have to think to myself, why wouldn't you, with all the Indian influences we have, where the 1,000-step march for the wedding for the bride is on a bedazzled elephant. And then I say, well, I have a tiger too. Why do you have a tiger? I said, well, you ever heard of a quinceañera? I was just talking to Freya about that, and they're like, why would you have it? I was like, well, when you have a quinceañera, some of the more elevated ones have photo opportunities with a tiger. I have a mermaid for pool parties, where we actually put a movie grade tail on a size 1 beautiful model. Shout out to Alexis. And we put her in the
Shameless
pool.
plug.
Yeah, we put her. Yeah, no shame at all. That's right. We put her in the pool for an hour, and she looks, sounds, and sings. She's one of my students.
Oh, cool.
And she'll sing like a mermaid and read mermaid stories. And that way, when little Jennifer has another party she goes to, nobody can compare to Jennifer's party, because she had a full house entertainment party.
Right.
And it thought of those things. So we, more than performance artists, performance DJs, and having strictly enhancements like the cold sparks and the lights or whatever it is. Everybody's got that, and anybody can buy that, but not around here. We don't have the kind of the exposure to things that we do in Miami and New York and Atlanta as a tri-state company.
Why I have cameras? Because you can use cell phones. That's what they think.
Oh, right.
They think, why are you not using an iPhone?
There's a quality difference, no?
Of course there's a quality difference.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
The size of the lens of an iPhone is this big.
Right.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
It's just never going to be the same.
For sure.
I think. I probably won't be alive when it might be the same, but right now it's not. But you have a phone number that people can reach you guys?
Our phone number is 772-485-7200.
Thank you so much for
Good
coming
to meet
on.
you, Wayne. Thank you so very much.
Full House Entertainment, check them out. Guys, we'll be right back.